There's a new king of the ring amongst American automakers. Chevrolet has undercut the extremely fast time set by Ford with its Mustang GTD. But the Bowtie brand took things a step further. Not only did Chevrolet bring its wild and wicked ZR1X out to play, the Corvette crew on vacation in Germany also included the ZR1 and the Z06. All three vehicles and their drivers did amazing work on the 12.9 miles that make up the Nordschleife. Let's talk about the top dog of the trio first. That would be the absolutely wild Corvette ZR1X. The car that ran at the ring was piloted by Drew Cattell, who is the dynamics engineer for the vehicle. He managed a time of 6 minutes 49.275 seconds. Per Chevy, this is the fastest time set by a non-professional race car driver. I get what they mean, but Cattell knows the car and the track quite well. He has 600 laps at the ring. That doesn't diminish the time whatsoever, by the way. I'm just letting you know that Cattell isn't exactly a rookie behind the wheel. His time puts the ZR1X at 5th all-time for production cars at the ring. Ahead of him sit the Mercedes-AMG Black Series, Porsche 911 GT3 RS MR, another GT2 RS with Manti performance parts, and the current ring king, the unreal Mercedes-AMG 1. This 649.275 by Cattell puts the car just ahead of the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, which delivered a 649.328. Yes, Chevrolet needed quite a bit more horsepower to just edge out the Porsche, but I don't think that diminishes the achievement. In fact, I think it's amazing to be able to wrangle that sort of power in an environment like the Nurburgring. The ZR1X produces 1,250 horsepower. It does so via its 5.5-liter twin-turbocharged V8 engine and an electric motor on the front axle. I have to imagine that while it's certainly incredibly well engineered, it's also capable of becoming quite a handful with that amount of power on tap. It also wasn't the only ZR1 of the track. Dynamics engineer Brian Wallace drove the non-X version of the car, setting a remarkable time of 6 minutes 50.763 seconds, which is good for 7th place all time among production cars. The pair of ZR1s were quicker than Ford Mustang's GTD, which previously set a time of 6 minutes 52.072 seconds. I said Chevy also brought out a Z06. That car was driven by Aaron Link, who is the vehicle performance manager of the Z06. He completed the circuit with a time of 7 minutes 11.826 seconds. All of these times are pretty impressive, but I have to say it does sort of serve to make what both Ford and Porsche accomplished with their cars that much more impressive. The Ford Mustang GTD makes 815 horsepower and is slightly heavier than the ZR1X, even though the Vet has the electric bits. Yet it's just 3 seconds slower over the course of a nearly 13-mile circuit. That's pretty wild. Even crazier, of course, is the 911. It delivers 518 horsepower, but it's essentially a race car with an interior. It has an otherworldly chassis, top-notch aero, and decades of racetrack honed perfection. The GTD as well is basically a GT3 race car with an interior. The points back in the column for the ZR1 would be the price. The standard ZR1 starts far less than a GT3 RS, and the ZR1X should be right around the same price to start. The GT3 RS, meanwhile, might start in the 240s, but we all know these really are $300,000 cars and up. And the GTD, if you were cool enough to buy one per Ford, the price starts at nearly $330,000 before any options. All of the vehicles here are, of course, expensive, and all of them are wildly capable machines on one of the most demanding stretches of road on the planet. So who's the real winner here? I'd say all of us who love seeing what these incredible cars can do, especially when you know Ford is likely working on a faster time and Porsche has a potential GT2 on the way. The times are going to go even lower.